So today we're doing part 3 in my curse breaking, hex breaking trilogy. And in earlier videos you will recall I first looked at reversing back a magical attack. And then in the video after that I discussed how we diagnose a magical attack, what to look for, the different kinds of attacks you can expect to find, how to think about this kind of problem. So you might want to go look back at those videos again. Some of those concepts will be useful in this video. But today we are going to look at breaking a magical attack. So this is if you've experienced a curse, something like that, to break it. And the distinction here is that in the first video we were sending it back. But with this technique, we don't send it back. We just basically catch the curse, we catch the attack, we catch that negative energy, and we just kind of disperse it. So it is a non-aggressive form of magical defense. And the beautiful thing about this technique is that it is very easy to do, and it will take care of most low to mid-level attacks. So anything where someone is burning candles on your name, or working with sigils, doing something, the average kind of spiritual attack that you could experience, this will usually take care of it. In fact, I've been able to sort out some fairly high-level attacks with this too, if I catch them early enough, right? And that's one of the most satisfying things about this technique, is that it's so easy, and that if someone is expending a lot of energy getting at you, and you just kind of brush it off. The other thing that I like about this technique also is that it's very accessible and simple to do. You can do this within 5 minutes with stuff that you have at home already. This is really an important thing, because people feel like if there is a high level of drama, they've been cursed, they're suffering, they're going through all this craziness, they think that they should have a high drama response. And actually, you can if you know a few accessible techniques and you're able to sort of work with those skillfully, you do them early, you do them often, you can take care of most stuff, and it's not a big deal. You don't have to get so stressed out about it. What is this? Where does this come from? So this specifically comes from the Cuban Spiritist tradition. Which is just basically spiritualism as it was transplanted into the New World, specifically Cuba. And for this you will need a clear glass, you will need some water. I've got a plastic jug with water here. You will need a white candle that has been buttered and reversed. That means we're going to chop the wick off on this end, and then we're going to carve a new wick on the opposite side. So we take the knife, sharp flat edge, and we just very carefully, and on the opposite side carve a new wick. And there we go. Right, and you will need an egg and a side plate or saucer with a flat surface. That's important for the technique, and you'll see in a minute why that is, right? So why the water and the glass? And the glass of water in Cuban Spiritism is kind of the primary tool that Espiritistas will use, or Spiritists will use. It is a tool for conducting spiritual energy, whether that is to bring through the spiritual energy of the dead, spiritual guides and so forth, and also to absorb negative energy. So you can do a shocking amount of spiritual work with just a simple glass of water if you know how to do that. And that is kind of the skill and the beauty of the Cuban Spiritist tradition. And then of course we will also be using an egg. Now eggs feature extensively in folk magic. I would suspect in most folk magical traditions, whether they're Western magical traditions or African magical traditions, you will find eggs featuring. And usually this is for purposes of cleansing and often also for breaking curses and for dealing with evil spirits and this kind of thing. And my understanding or my theory as to why eggs are so effective is that they are a kind of living tissue that is very similar to the living tissue of animals and human beings. Of course, it is the gestational tissue for a new life form, a chicken in this case. And so in that sense, it is highly absorbent. It is ready to absorb all spiritual influences and take them into itself. So I think for this reason that it often gets used in this way. To start, you will very carefully take your egg and you will kind of very gingerly place it in the glass, make sure not to crack it and break it. And then you will fill the glass very carefully with cool water. It has to be cool until the glass is almost but not quite full. Yes? And then once you have this glass with cool water and the egg inside, you will clean yourself over the glass spiritually. This means you brush yourself down spiritually and you tap it into the glass. Remember to do your legs as well and your back as well, but it's a brushing motion, right? And you're spiritually taking the energy and you're transferring it into the glass. And as you do that, you say, I remove all black magic, I remove all evil spirits, mental thought forms, negativity, evil eye, whatever the case may be, hatred, harm, and I transfer it into this glass. Yeah. Once you've done that, you've brushed yourself down, you've tapped it into the glass, comes the next part. You take the glass with the water and you very cautiously and carefully cover it with a saucer, and then once you've got it nice and securely, your hand on top, hand at the bottom, you very swiftly turn it upside down. And you will notice, due to the way that the physics with the water works, that the water stays inside the glass and that the glass kind of will suck onto the surface of the saucer. It creates a vacuum, essentially. And that vacuum then retains the water and the egg inside the glass. Now, what are we doing here? Of course, this is using the power of magical sympathy, and this sucking effect and the turning upside down draws in negative energy and spirits and so forth. So it's a sucking motion and a drawing motion, and that goes into the glass and into the egg. Then you will take your candle and you will light it, and then as you light it, you repeat your petition again and you say, I clean off and break all magical attacks, evil eye, witchcraft, evil spirits, whatever you think has happened. You state that, and then you recite the prayer of Saint Michael, right, followed by the Our Father and the Hail Mary, and you do that 3 times. And then once you've done that, you drip some wax onto the back so that it's fixed, and then you make the sign of the cross 3 times, and you will then leave this to burn down. Now this should be done after dark, before midnight. So it should be after sunset, before midnight. Should be done at the front door, and then you leave this near the front door to burn until it's done. And then the very next day, once it's burnt down, you will then dispose of it. And how do you do that? You very carefully will take the plate and the saucer, and I suggest you do this over the toilet, right? In case you mess and break the egg, yeah? So just open the lid and sort of do that over the toilet in case you break it, in which event you just flush it all away, right? That's second best, but that's not what we want to do ultimately. So what you will do is you will take the saucer and the glass, over the toilet, you flip it very carefully. You do it quickly so that the water doesn't fall out. You take the plate off, and then you will take the water and the egg for a walk, and you will leave your house, and what you're looking for is a large tree. And the bigger the better, really, but any tree will do ultimately, and it should be as far away from your house as is practical. Don't go on a 10-mile hike. To make it practical, but you want to have it be at a distance, and you want it to be a strong tree. The reason is that a tree is connected to the realm of the dead. Its roots extend to the earth and is connected to the dead and to the underworld, you could say. And so it will help absorb this. And then what you will do very carefully is you will pour the water out on the roots, and then you will take the egg, and then you will say, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I break this curse. And you throw the egg at the tree so that it breaks, and that negativity is dispersed into the tree. Simple, right? Don't use this glass for drinking out of, yeah? You might want to save this glass for just this kind of work. So don't use a tumbler or something that you would normally drink out of, because you don't want that energy, if you can help it, you don't want to imbibe it, right? There you have it. A very simple way to break a curse using an egg. Move on with your life. And remember to like and to subscribe. Share your experiences down below. There are lots of ways to support the channel. You can come for a reading, you can buy one of my PDF bundles, you can buy me a coffee, there's a link below if you like. And as always, it was lovely being with you again today. You'll notice that this is a new background. My home has been going through some renovations, so that the grey background is no more. It's a new day, a new page, as it were, and it was lovely being with you again today, and speak to you soon.